Commissioner Erickson,
Here.
Commissioner Gallman,
Here.
City Administrator Crawford,
Here.
City Attorney Martinick.
Here.
Okay, it isn't on the agenda, but please stand and say the pledge. Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for coming today, and we'll begin with number one, the flood emergency discussion and planning, and we'll turn that over to Gwen.
Okay, first, to get us started, I would like to introduce us to Rich, but would you like to introduce our guests?
Well, we have a couple of special guests today. Not that everybody isn't special. Gosh, we have Superintendent of Schools and his bride. You can see to her. President Al and from the National Guard, we have General Alan Dorman here today, and from the Corps of Engineers, Colonel Jansen, and from Orange County, we have Kerry Johnson and Commission President Bill. Where are you, Bill? There you go. Thanks. And let's see, who else? Rich Schoeneman. Yeah, he's one of our bosses, I guess. And for you guys, when you guys speak, we need to have maybe that mic there, and just pull that chair over and sit at the table will be the best to do that.
So I'm going to turn over the table to Colonel Jansen.
Okay, that's fine. And Sue Lloyd and Pat Horner and Deb, thank you all for being here. Media folks, thank you. So, okay, Colonel.
Hey, thanks very much, Mayor. Wonderful to be here today. I'm here for two purposes. One, to make sure that you have what you need from the Corps of Engineers. And two, to make sure that my team has what they need from the Corps of Engineers as well. You have a fantastic team of people here from Bald Hill Dam, from our Western area office in Fargo, and they're able to tap into our entire district of 750 people and beyond. So they are very experienced, very knowledgeable. They're here for you. And so am I. So I'm based out of St. Paul. We serve 5 states: North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa. And this is our priority location right now and through the week. So great to be here.
Thanks, Colonel. Thanks for traveling out to the hinterland here, but you're very welcome. Thanks. General?
Sure.
You won't call me Dave, I'll call you General.
Thank you, Mayor.
It's not on.
All right, you missed my greeting to the mayor. First, thanks for allowing me to be a part of this meeting today. Fighting floods is a team sport. I'm very appreciative of the work the city of LA City has already put in. Was able to go out with Sue Lloyd on the county emergency management side, drive around a little bit, see what's going on. Things have changed a lot since 9, 10, and 11. So I think the work that needs to be done is probably right now within the capability of the city, the county, and with the great support from the Corps of Engineers. But I wanted to be here on the ground just so I could see what's going on. Besides being the Adjutant General, I'm also the Director of Emergency Services for the state. I need to be ready if you need us. Right now, it appears as though you have things well in hand here in Valley City. But if you do need us, I want to make sure that I can get out ahead of that and get you the support you need at the time you need it. So just really appreciate the opportunity to be part of this today, see what's going on in the city and the county. The one thing I will share, and when a crisis hits, and I've been through quite a few of these, you get real busy being busy. At the county and the state level, we need to do everything we can to be of assistance without getting in the way. I've talked with both the county and the city about exchanging liaison officers. If we think there's a possibility that the Guard will come in here, we will send a liaison from the local unit here in Valley City. And it's not to get in your way. It's not to take over anything. It's so that if you need us, we are there. The Guard has this motto of always ready, always there. Well, that's always ready, always there once we get to the armory, draw our equipment and get out of the work site. So the situational awareness is very important to us. And there's one thing you cannot do during an emergency, and that is over communicate. So again, we don't want to get in your way. We don't want to slow you down. But anything we can do to improve the communication from the city to the county, the state, and back down, I think we need to continue to look at opportunities to improve those lines of communication. So with that, Mr. Mayor, unless there's questions for me, I just, again, appreciate the opportunity to be part of this today, and anything we can do to assist, just let us know.
Thank you. And welcome to Valley City too.
Thank you, Mayor.
And you know, you guys, if you hang around here, there may be a question later.
You bet.
Okay, thank you. And Rich, before you do, I see Cole, no, someone, Cole Christensen back there, Representative, thank you for being here. Sheriff, and Larry, thank you. Thank you for being here. So, yeah.
I'm
They're
back.
turned on here. It was on, yeah, unless somebody else. How about the
Can you
other
see it?
camera? The one on your monitor there?
Okay.
Is someone texting from Beck that's watching on Beck?
Is there a problem there?
It shows it on the screen here.
Okay. Yeah, I think we've done what we can here.
And I said it was on extra 2 and extra 4. That was the 2 channels.
Okay, thank you.
We'll make sure to check in with Mike so it's fixed for next time from Beck.
Yeah.
Michael.
Okay. All right, Gwen, do you have information, or you want Rich first?
I'd like Rich first,
Hey,
please.
Rich?
Good evening, everyone. I usually start off talking about Lake Ashtabula and Bald Hill Dam. Currently, the pool elevation is 1265.78. And as you remember, the normal summer conservation pool is 1266. So we're approaching that a full pool. We do have the 5 feet of the 5-foot raise. We still have that storage available. We are releasing about 3,200 CFS. Now, we have not made a gate change in days, many days. So what's happening as the pool rises, there becomes head pressure, and that pushes a little bit more water out. So it just kind of naturally goes up. I believe the latest reading river stage in Valley City is it's still right around 15.7-ish, somewhere in there. So what our plan is to hold that right around 16 feet until we get the levees complete and get protection for Valley City completed. Now, we Corps of Engineers, we've been communicating with National Weather Service today, and they have put out a forecasted crest of 18.5 feet in Valley City by this coming weekend. So it's stretched out a little bit. I think it's maybe this cooler weather that's kind of helping slow things down a little bit. And so we'll hold that 16 feet until we get the levees complete. So at 18.5 feet of a forecasted crest, we need to have the levees at 20.5 feet to create that 2 feet of freeboard. We probably have inflows of 5,000 or more CFS right now. And it looks like Cooperstown is kind of turning over a little bit, and so is Bald Hill Creek, which is good. But with our current operating plan that we have been looking at, and we've just really poured through the numbers, we will end up with a pool elevation of about 1269. So that would leave us, you know, 1.5 feet, 2 feet or so of storage that we will have for an anticipated precip event for this next coming weekend. And there's a lot of uncertainty on that precip event. It's quite a ways out there, but I know all of you live here and have seen the past few precip events that we've had, and it kind of seems like there's like maybe a mini pattern going here. And I don't want to alarm anyone. I just want to let everyone know that we want to be prepared for that if something were to happen, and that's what we're doing. We're raising the, you know, getting the levees in place, and we're gonna, you know, the pool's gonna come up, but we're gonna keep some storage available so that we can handle that.
Couldn't hear you, Mike. Mike, can you say something?
Moving on,
Okay.
we awarded a contract to Strata Construction Company. That was last night, and immediately we met and came up with a plan for Valley City with Strata. And this morning they started out with what crews that they had locally. They're bringing in people from all over the state, from Bismarck, from Minot, from Fargo, all over, bringing people in. So they've been mobilizing today, and as soon as they get here, they're getting on the ground and they're moving pretty quick. They're doing a good job, moving fast. So the idea is to try to get this protection in place by, you know, Wednesday, Thursday is the way it looks like it's going to happen. We have about 8,500 lineal feet of levees that we need to raise in 5 major areas. And that's about 37,000 cubic yards of fill. So that's a lot of fill. I'm just asking that the public stay away from those areas. These contractors need to work. Please yield to all flood emergency vehicles. Let them go first. Please just kind of try to stay out of the way so that we can get the work done. And we just don't want to have any accidents and anybody get hurt either. We want to be safe with this. So I just kind of appealing to the public to, you know, I know you're curious and you want to see what's going on, but right now is not the time to, you know, get out there. You just don't want to get in the way. So I appreciate your help with that. The 5 major reaches are Chautauqua Boulevard, 6th Avenue Southwest, 4th Avenue Southeast, Southwest, 10th Street Southwest, which is complete, I believe, right? Yeah. And then 3rd Street Southeast. So those are kind of some of the major areas. Mike, do you want to speak to, you know, any more on the levees? Mike Strom from Cattermosley and Jackson.
You know, I guess they're working as best they can. We still have load restrictions on, so we're not trying to beat up every street. So that's why there's gonna be a lot of trucks moving with a smaller amount of dirt. That's why it might take a little bit longer than it might take normally, as we want to keep our infrastructure nice. So with having a little bit of time here, we're still trying to be responsible with everything.
Yeah, so there's designated haul routes so that we're not, you know, spreading out all over all the streets, because we, you know, we understand that, you know, when you're this time of the year that the street infrastructure is a little bit more fragile. And, you know, let's face it, we've all been through these floods right in the past, and we know what can happen if you're not careful. You can really cause some damage. So we're trying to, you know, be as prudent as possible on that. That's all I have, and unless there are some questions.
Questions for Rich? Thanks for your work.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity.
Been some long hours.
Yeah.
Yep, thank you. Gwen?
Okay, I'll just say a few words and then we'll kind of get into the nuts and bolts of why you guys are here, to make some final decisions on meeting times. But I'd like to thank everyone who has worked hard to protect the city. We are so fortunate to have 3 phases of the flood protection already finished. If it wasn't for that, there's no way we would be in the situation we are today, which is manageable. And so for that, I just want to thank the community and everyone involved in getting those first 3 phases done. So here's where we're at today. All of the flood wall protections should be installed by the end of the day. We had 4 removable flood walls to install, and it took about 2 days to get them up. Thank you to the volunteers, including the fire department, electrical staff, and all of them who made that happen. As you guys would recall, it was put up just to make sure it was all there, but to actually have it go and be put in action is a whole different ballgame. And it's been a very good tutorial. Unfortunately, not something anybody wants, but what a great experience to know that we have it, it's working, and it's doing what you guys needed it to do. Sandbags have been installed near the VCSU footbridge. That leads me to some other things about sandbags. There were some different questions and things that went out. We actually had filled sandbags that came from Fargo. They had 30,000 on hand and they gave us about 15,000. So we had those brought here. 1, just because it was coming so quickly. And 2, we don't have all the equipment here and we would have to bring all that in order for us to fill our own. And we only had the empty sandbags. So we really appreciate Mayor Mahoney and Ben Dar, the Public Works Superintendent that helped us out there. So the rest of those though are now currently being housed in there's 2 different locations in the city. We will let anyone that is a resident of the city of Valley City or Barnes County, if they need sandbags, to come to the fire hall, and then we will direct them from there. So just know that there are sandbags that are available for free, and we just will have to work with you guys to do that. The U.S. Corps has contracted out, like we said, to build those levees throughout the town to ensure that our spots are protected up to 21 feet, well, 20 and a half now. But the crew of ours is out there as well, right alongside them. When we find out there's another spot that needs to be done, or there's a little space that they can't get to, then our crews are right there filling it in. And I couldn't reiterate what Rich said more about stay out of the way. We've had more issues today with people that just want to come see what's going on, and it delays everything tenfold. So the more that can just stay home, if we can go get you drone footage if we have to, but please just stay off the roads, especially where they're working. The situation shows the responsiveness of the city. It's rapidly changing, and we're following our flood emergency plan and management procedures. And as we get going, we're just updating them and making sure that they're staying exactly where we need to be. And if there's something that we're like, that could be tweaked, we're getting that on there so that, God forbid, we ever have to do this again, we don't have to worry. We have a chain of command when it comes to our communication. Rich and I are in direct contact. Sue and I are in direct contact. From there, there's different places. Just because you know one of us on the commission or on staff does not mean that we can do anything about it. If we do not go through the proper channels, then we can't get things approved the proper way. So it's really important that we all follow those communications. The plan for the next 24 hours is going to be, we'll post information on our social media. We're going to have it on Facebook and Instagram, and then we're going to actually have a dedicated flood page on our website. So that'll help. After tomorrow, we will have a phone number that we will figure out where you can call if you have questions for those who need any help that don't have access to internet. But we aren't quite there yet. We'll be monitoring the river levels, and to continue to follow our procedure, Clint has his crew going 24 hours. He's got them all on rotating shifts, and he can say a little more after this. We'll have daily meetings, and that's something that you guys will decide here in a little bit, what time that's going to be daily. They'll be in the commission chambers, and we'll make sure they're available via Zoom if you can't be here, and also to watch on Beck TV and any of the cable channels that want to stream it at that time. And Commissioner Goldman will be working with Superintendent Johnson on a plan for the buses and school routes with the road closures. The street and bridge closure maps will be on Facebook and our website after this meeting. So they'll be working on it so they get a plan. We know that that's not a convenience for anyone with any road that's closed, but we need your patience, especially as we found out, we thought we'd get to Wednesday, we thought we'd get to Thursday, and here we are already to next weekend. So I appreciate Lee and his crew at the Salvation Army and all the food they brought, and you don't understand. I didn't know how exciting flood sandwiches were until this week. So I appreciate all that they do and the help of all the volunteers. It's greatly appreciated. But I want to thank our staff the most. I cannot believe we've had them out since 4 a.m. Yesterday, and then they were out all hours, and then we got them back to get a little sleep, and they were right back at it again today. Those walls are heavy. They're exhausted, and everybody's just going full bore, and I appreciate it so much. So you have one heck of a staff here in Valley City. So thank you.
Thanks, Gwen. And then the other cable is CSI carries the meeting as well. Tom over there does a nice job for us too. Thank you. Bill Carlblum from Barnes County, do you have anything to share, or any of your folks do?
No, just if there's anything you guys need, just keep in communication back and forth.
Okay,
The
Clint?
one real quick, just sec, Sue, they were talking about when we were actually talking about the communication, just because of the stuff that we have going on down here and with the county, if you guys think you might be okay, if there would be a way to move you down here for a couple days, just with the information, and if not, we can work around it, but if there was a way, we would put you in the temporary command center so that you could be a part of this a little bit more. That'd be great.
Okay. Clint, do you have any thoughts you'd like to share? I know you're usually standing in line to speak, but
Yeah, it's my favorite part. No, Gwen pretty much hit on all the highlights that we have going on. And like I said, we got our staff split rotating shifts, and with the help of the fire department over the night hours is going to be a big help to us, monitoring our pumps, sluice gates, dikes, and all that good stuff. So we're in a pretty good spot for where we're at right now.
okay, thank you. Let's see.
I do want to put another shout out. We had a call from VCSU. They sent it out to their athletic departments, and a lot of students came out today that are there in their different athletic departments and helped move sandbags. So we really appreciate that too.
Okay. Jeff,
I got nothing, Dave.
you're the street
I'm
portfolio
tired.
guy
I know.
and skid steer operator.
And skid steer operator. Yeah, no, it went good today. I think everything's been going good, so I think we're in a good spot.
Okay, Dewey?
I'd just like to echo what Gwen said and Clint. So big shout out to not only citizens of Valley City, but the Valley City Fire Department for stepping up and helping out wherever they could. The staff of Public Works, the electric crew, street department, all those people working feverishly to make sure that you're all protected. Not just that, but the people inside these walls that are working just as hard as the people on the ground. So thank you to everybody. Also to echo what Gwen said, please stay away from the river. Don't walk the dikes, keep your kids away from there, pets away from there, and keep your cars away from where they're working. So, and thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dewey. Dick, bad cleanup?
Yeah, I'd just like to highlight Gwen in this whole thing as the leader throughout. She's done a magnificent job. She's been here all hours of the evening. And Rich for being here yesterday and all day today, helping us. And then lastly, I'd like to highlight KLJ for all they've done, their crew, Chad and his crew, all the historical knowledge they have from the floods of 2009 and 2011. You guys have been invaluable, so thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dick. Okay, is there anything else? Does anybody have a comment on the emergency discussion or planning? Anybody? Okay. Hearing none. Do you have a suggestion for scheduling daily meetings?
I wanted to work with your guys' schedule. It would be easiest if we could do something in the morning, maybe by 9 o'clock. Rich, does that work for you? Or what time do you guys get your best information? Because it doesn't do us any good if you guys don't have what you need.
Yeah, so if you go at 9. There we go. So if you go at 9 o'clock, it might be difficult in the past when you've had early meetings like that. In flooding, it's dynamic and things change. And by the time we talk to the weather service and kind of get things figured out, some in the past, when you had them early like that, I would come here, give a report, the meeting would be over, I'd walk out and the information had changed. So we will do whatever we can to get the best information to you if you want to have a 9 o'clock meeting.
We can do it later. I just,
Would it be better to do something like around 4 or something for everybody?
All right, hold on. Hold on. Rich, do you have a suggestion as to when you can get best information?
Well, I think this 4 o'clock meeting is good, because then we can, we can kind of give an update on the construction as well, what happened during the day. And then also, gives everyone time to prepare. If that's works for your schedule, like I said, I will do whatever works for you.
Okay. Suggestion,
That'd be good with 4.
guys? Gwen, you make that work?
Yep.
Okay, so we're safe at saying 4 o'clock daily. Correct?
correct.
Thank you. All right, and just a couple of things, people have already touched on the Gawkers, of which I was one last night at 11:30. Sorry about that, folks. But just people of Valley City, we are so fortunate to have the people on our staff that we do. And the fire department, of which Dewey's been doing yeoman work there too. And the volunteers from VCSU and from the community is so important. Can't get it done without you. We have offers from restaurants for food, and it's just been wonderful. And kudos to the citizens of Valley City who years ago voted to dedicate some sales tax dollars to permanent flood protection. And so that was a big part of it. And then from there, it had to go to the legislature and have bills passed to allow us funding to carry through with this. There is absolutely no way the city the size of Valley City could have anywhere near the permanent flood protection if we didn't have the assistance from the legislature in the state of North Dakota. And then moving from that, from the funding part of it, then it goes to at one time, the State Water Commission, Department of Water Resources now, and their cost shares, making this all possible. Because without the permanent flood protection, we're underwater right now, because look around here, we're too dang old to be throwing sandbags. And so kudos to the people who supported the sales tax. Thank you to the people in the legislature. And it's just the State Water Commission has been very generous, and for which we are quite grateful to the city of Valley City. Anything else for the good of the order?
The one thing that I do want to point out, when we were speaking earlier to the adjutant general, he had mentioned, just so everyone is clear, before state and federal emergency is actually declared, if they were to, the reason the guard isn't here, it's not because they don't want to, it's that it would be at 100% local. And so they're trying to help us with our money and, just being fiscally responsible. So that when he told me that, I don't think very many of us realize, and I thought that was a very good point to bring up, that it's not that they're not wanting to help, they're just not at the point they can yet, so.
Okay, any further comments from anyone? Well, there being no further business, excuse me, Mike Bishop, do you have anything to share?
No, thanks for keeping me in the loop, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Okay, there being no further business, then meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everyone. So what was, thank you. I wonder what the issue was with Jack. Yeah, I can't.